Hi, this is Sean Weaver with Six String Country, and in this lesson, we'll be taking a look at the Chet Atkins arrangement of St. Louis Blues. It's a classic tune by W.C. Handy way back in 1914, and the song has been recorded by countless artists all throughout the years. So Chet had a couple of really great arrangements of this, and the first was on the Galloping Guitar album, the 10-inch LP, that Stephen Foster Medley is also on, which is included in this series. And then Chet re-recorded St. Louis Blues again and put it out on the 12-inch version of Stringing Along with Chet Atkins. So that's another neat version. He plays a few different things in that version, but the one that I learned and that I'll be teaching you here is certainly from Galloping Guitar, and I actually played this arrangement note for note as a tribute to Chet and the great influence he had on me on my solo guitar record on Half Past Midnight. So I'll be showing you exactly how that goes here, and let's get into the tune. And now we're ready to begin the tune, and as we get into it, be aware that I am using a little bit of slapback delay and a nice clean sound from the amplifier. I'm actually also using that EP booster pedal that I talk about in the lesson on getting a good Chet tone for electric guitar. So this is on the advanced side of playing the old Chet stuff. So certainly if there's any question about what I'm talking about as I start going through these details, please refer back to the Introduction to Fingerstyle Guitar Techniques lesson. But you're going to begin with a pickup note, and that'll be on the and of beat 4 to lead into it. And all eighth notes will be swung. This is a blues, so the eighth notes will be like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and it's not a straight eighth note feel like a rock thing would be. So we're going to begin on the second string at the 8th fret, and I'll use my third finger here, and you're going to slide in from the 8th fret to the 9th fret, and that'll be from the and of beat 4 to beat 1 of the first measure. And 1, just like that. And I'm using a downstroke with my thumb pick to get that. You could really use just your finger if you'd like. However you're going to articulate that is fine, as I've spoken. And so we have the first, we've covered that. Now, so you hear exactly what that sounds like. I'm going through the A7 chord, then back to the E7. So to do that on measure 2, you're going to start on the open 5th string on the A, and your thumb pattern is going to be strings 5, 4, 6, 4. There will be a strum on beat 2, just like we've been talking about with a lot of this electric guitar Chet stuff, where I've been really guiding you through exactly where I think he plays strums or not. He does strum on beat 2 in this case. So he goes the 4th string with the thumb pick dragging through to the open 3rd string. So he gets that, but then on beat 4 it's clean. So it's... So that's your bass, and on top of that, and starting on the and of 1, is the melody, which is going to be beginning with your index finger on the 1st fret of the 2nd string, and I articulate that with my index finger in the right hand, and then you're going to hammer on to the 2nd fret of the 2nd string. So that'll be, the hammer-on will land on beat 2 with the 2nd beat of your thumb pattern. So that'll land with, it'll land with, your thumb will be going as your left hand lands on the 2nd fret. 1 and 2. Let's add in the 1st beat now. 1 and 2. And then on the and of 2, we're going to get the open high E string. So, and I'm getting that with my 2nd finger in the right hand. So on beat 3, I'm going to get with my pinky the 3rd fret of the high E string. And on the and of 3, I'm going to get the and of the and of 3 with the 2nd fret on the high E string, and that'll be my pinky moving back in the left hand. 3 and 4 and on the and of 4, 1 and 2, and I'm putting a little bend in there, I guess, again with my pinky, and 2. Maybe not when I play it slowly, but when I play it at tempo, something's, you can hear the pitch just. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So it starts 1 and 2, and then on the and of 2, open E string, and then your pinky's going to move back to the 7th fret on the 2nd string, followed by the open E string, and that'll be the and of beat 3, and then you're just going to have the strum on beat 4. So 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Again, let's do the thing where we isolate the melody and the bass. Just the melody. 1 and 2 and 3 and 2 and 3 and. Just the bass. Let's put them together now. Okay? Then we're going to go to the A7 chord. Remember we talked about that at the beginning of the first section in this lesson. I called it the quick 4 chord. In this, this is the way he's playing his 12-bar blues here. And I believe it's actually the way that W.C. Handy composed the tune, that he went to the quick 4 there. So it's E7, A7. If I'm feeling tomorrow, and this is where the lyric will go, like I'm feeling today. And this will be a repeat of what we already did, the chord formation that we went to in measure 6 in the first section of this lesson. So if you've forgotten any of that or you need clarification, just go back, review that. I'll be using the same fingers here with my index barred across the 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st strings. So I'm going to start with my pinky, the 7th fret on the high E string again. So what's going on phrasing-wise is the melody will be beat 1, 7th fret, high E string, and of 1, 5th fret, high E string, and of beat 2, 8th fret, 2nd string, and of beat 3, open 1st string. So it'll be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and, okay. The bass will be open 5th string, 4th string, 6th string, 4th string, and there'll be a strum through to the 3rd string. And that'll be your 2nd finger in position, just like we learned when we went through this chord. It was introduced, like I said, in measure 6 of the arrangement. So that's going to be just your bass here. This will be measure 14 on your sheet music. So that's just the bass, just the melody. That's just, again, you hear that slight bend there. Now we go into the double time section, and because we're in double time, even though it's a 12-bar blues pattern, you're gonna really, on the printed page, if you were to count this out, you would see 24 bars. And I'll tell you right now, because I'm always tapping my foot when I play, when I go into 2, I'm tapping on the 1 and on the 3. So maybe, you know, if it helps you to tap your foot, you can bear that in mind. So that's literally measures 42 through 44 is just the. So it just does that 3 times. And then in measure 45, it goes to the high E string, followed by the 2nd fret of the 2nd string. Meanwhile, the thumb still. Okay, and I'm just getting that with my middle finger and my index finger, I think, in the right hand. Okay, leading into measure 46. So you get the high E string and the low E string together. Nice 2-octave sound. Same note, 2 octaves apart. And your thumb goes through string 6 and then string 4. But then on the back side, if you were counting this like a fast 4, it'd be on beat 3. But really counting a cut time, it's, you know, whether we call this beat 2 or beat 3, it's going to be determined by how you're counting that again. So let's just say the back side of measure 46. This is where the lick starts, and it's, I'll play it for you slowly and then explain what's going on in my hands. Now we're ready to go into the final section of the tune, and he's just going to repeat the A form. 1 time through, we're still in double time. So you're winding up there, and this is where strum on beat 1, beat 2, you slide in. And then on the end of 2 is where you get the high E string, and you want this all ringing, 2, and then you got to reposition, because you're going to move this chord down. So you're going to break the bar. You're going to move that whole shape on strings 4, 3, and 2 down 1 fret, but you're going to put your 3rd finger back in the 12th fret on the high E string. So, up. And another thing to bear in mind, if you ever are having trouble sliding old corroded guitar strings, you know, when a string is new and there's no obstruction in the way, sometimes sliding is a lot easier. So you're going to move back, and you can use this set of fingers. I'm going to give you a couple alternate fingerings for this. But this would be one. It's just to move the shape back, get the 12th fret of the high E string with your 3rd finger, then back, move this back again on beat 4 to 10, 11, 10 will be the frets. And then back 1 more on the downbeat of measure 87, where your index is getting the 9th fret of the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd strings. So now if you do this, you're going to have a little bit of a stretch between the index and your 3rd finger. You know, maybe that's comfortable for your hands. And if it is, great, do that. Tempo. And I'm going to start you a couple measures early back in measure 64 to give you a transition into this final A section of the tune, played at full speed.